Yes, Mike. What's up, guys? Learning with Rich here. So, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a life safety egress path or just simply egress path. Okay, so as you can see in this model, for the egress path, I just used here a detail line as a representation for that one, for the egress path. And you will also notice that I have a text here. It's not a tag, it's just a simple text wherein I have measured this one by using the measure between two references and checking the chain here by picking each points there, each points, okay, and then finally adding all of this to get this length that I have here. So as you can see, it's pretty much manual on this one because your detail line here is just a single line there. It's not like a polyline in AutoCAD, so it's just a single line. So you need to really manual calculate for you to be able to get the length here. But one advantage of using your detail line for your egress path, it's just you will not be able to see this detail line in other views, which is what you want. You only want to see your egress path on the egress path floor plan that you have, right? But then again, if you're going to redo this on your next project or in a bigger scale, so it will be very tedious job, okay? And then you also need to check it manually. Okay, you need to calculate it manually. So for this one, I'm going to show you another approach which I have learned from Paul Obbins. So thanks to him. So I have learned this technique from him. And now I'm sharing it with you guys. So I created here a simple floor plan and then there's the representation of my egress path. All right. Now, what I'm going to do here, instead of using a detail line, I'm going to show you how to use your railing to represent as your egress path. Okay, so without further ado, so I'm going to select the railing here, and then this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to create a railing here, and then I'll just select here, check to finish. So as you can see, here's my railing. Now, what I want to do here is I just want to have a representation of my egress path, like a dash line and then a triangle or arrow at the end, and probably as another circle here, dotted circle, and then lines, and then triangle at the end. Okay, so that is what I want to do as a representation for my egress path. So I'm going to use the railing for that. Now, I do not want to see the actual railing. That's why what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this first. Let me just modify this. I'm going to duplicate that. So let's duplicate this. I'm just going to call this egress path. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the height here. So let's say our cat plane, currently our cat plane here is 1,200. So I'm going to make the actual railing higher than the cat plane so that we will not be able to see that on our floor plan because we only want to see our detail. Okay, the circle, the dash line, and then the arrow. That is what we want to see. We do not want to see the actual railing. So that's why I'm going to change the height here. So let's say 1,500. And then for the type, so instead of circular, actually, this is not critical, but for uniformity, let us use here a rectangular. Rectangular 50 by 50 profile. Top rail type. So that is what we want to use. So I'm going to select here OK. Okay. Again, this is not a very critical one, but for uniformity, let's use this one. The height here, I change it to 1,500 so that it's higher than the current cat plane, which is, if I check here the property, the current cat plane here is 1,200. Okay, so it's below. Okay. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is I'm now going to apply here the symbol. Okay, so let me select this and then I'm going to select this one Okay, and then for the rail structure, I'm going to select your edit. I do not want this railing here, so I'm going to select all of this and then just delete because I'm still able to see it. So I'll just delete all of the railing, delete those railings, select OK, and then OK. So it will becomes just like this. Okay, so let us now start to put some symbol, the dotted circle, and then the dash line, and then the arrow. Okay, and then if we want to create a corner, we want to have a square at the corner. So we want that symbol as well. So to do that, I'm going to create a family here. So let's create a new family that is baluster. So metric baluster post. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one, and then I select here open. Okay, so I'll create first the circle. So this is an elevation view. I want that to be created on the floor plan view. So I select reference level. Okay, and then from here, it's just a simple extrusion. No fancy on this extrusion. So I'll just create the circle, create one, let's say 200 for the radius, and that's it. Okay, and then I'll just select here apply. Now, by the way, for the extrusion, 250 is too thick. I'll just make it 10. Okay, and then I want the color to be red. Okay, so I'm going to select this, change the material, look for the default. Let me double right click this and then duplicate. I'm going to call this just red for the color. So red, go to the appearance tab and then select this, duplicate. All right, and then graphics, use render appearance. By the way, let's make it red. So let's go back to the appearance, change it to red, red, okay, and then all right. So it's now red for our red material. So there you go. So this is the circle baluster. So I'll save it. This is my circle baluster. So I'll just type baluster circle. Okay. And then I also want to create a rectangle. So I'm going to select this, or let me save as first. Let me save as so that I do not override the circle. And then I'll call this rectangle. Rectangle. So remember, I'm creating families here. So I select this one, edit extrusion. Let me just delete this and create a rectangle here. So let's say the rectangle we're gonna be 150 by 600. All right, so 150 by 600. So I'll just move this, select. Okay, no fancy about this one. So it's just 150 by 600, and then I select your check. There you go. So I now have that. So I'm going to save this. This is the rectangle. Now I want to have a square. So I'm going to save as this one again so that I do not override the rectangle. So I'll call this square. Square and then save. Okay, let me select this. Edit, extrusion. Let's make it 150 by 150. All right. Okay, check. There you go. And then let me save this. So I now have circle, rectangle, square. So now I want a triangle. So I'm going to select this. Wait, need to save as first again. Save as so that I do not override the square. So I'll call this triangle. Triangle. Save. Okay, so let's select this. Edit extrusion. So let's create our triangle. So let's say like this. Okay, so let me delete this and then mirror this one. All right, there you go. Modify. Okay, so let's save. So I now have here four symbols. So I have circle, rectangle, square, and then triangle. Okay, So these families, I'm going to load that here for the baluster. So going back to my project, so I'm going to go to insert, load family. So I'm going to load the circle, rectangle, square, triangle. Okay. And then let's open that. There you go. So after we load that families inside this project, so we are now ready to use that. So I'm going to select my egress path railing. So I'm going to select edit type here. All right. And then after that, I'm going to look for the baluster placement, edit. Okay, here on the regular baluster, so this is where I want to put the dash, the rectangle. Okay, this one, rectangle. So I'm going to select that. So it's my host as the base, top rail element, and then the distances 1000. So this should be okay. So let me check it first. So I select here okay, and then okay, and there you go. So this is now how it looks like. So let me just change that to consistent color. All right, so as you can see, this is now how it looks like. All right, so let me further edit this one. So I select edit type, go to the baluster placement again, and then this time for the start post, oh, by the way, the justification here, it should be spread pattern to fit. All right, so spread pattern to fit. Okay, so don't forget that one. Now for the start post, this will gonna be the circle. So we want our circle as ours. Start post without a space, just put 0. And then for the corner post, this will be a square. Where's that one? Square. Okay, spacing is 0. Now for the end post, this will gonna be the arrow, which is the triangle. All right, so without a space again. Okay, so this is the setting. Host 0, top rail element, all 0, all 0, all 0. Okay, so let's select now here, okay, and let's see how it looks like. There you go. See? Okay, now you can't see here the square because there's no corner, but if I'm going to select this, right click and then create similar. So if I'm going to create a corner just like that, there's a corner like that, there's a corner like that, and then I select here cancel and then check to finish. You will see the one that I'm talking about. You see there's the square. Okay, and one good thing about this, if I'm going to select this one, you see there's the length already. So no need for you to manually calculate it just like this one. Because this is just a detail line, so you need to manually calculate that. There's no length. Now, let me just further modify the arrow. I want this to be a bigger one. So let me just go back to the family, to my triangle. So let me just adjust this one. About 600. Just trial and error. This is actually, it's up to you. Okay, so it's up to you. There you go. All right. Okay, so after setting up my railing here, so I'm now ready to put it here. Okay, so I'll just go back to architecture and then railing, and then let us now make sure egress path type is selected, and we are now ready to place our egress path, our life safety egress path. Okay, just make sure chain here is checked so that you can continuously place your railing. And there you go. And then check to finish. All right. Alrighty. Then probably you can just delete the line there. We don't need that. And there you go. And for the text, what we are going to do is we're going to create here a tag. So let's create a tag. So family, new family, new family, um, annotation, just a generic one, generic annotation. So let's click that, open. All right, so just delete this one. Don't need that. And then make sure the category here is railing, railing, railing tags. All right. So you just select this one to change the category to railing tags. So railing tag. So we are going to put a label here. Label. So let's put it here. Probably the height. No other height. Okay, so let me change that. Duplicate. How about 6 mm or 5 mm? Sorry, 5 mm. So 5 mm. So how about Arial narrow? There you go. I'll make it bold, and that's it. All right, so let me just put it here, and then let's look for length. Double click. If you want, you can add here like space mm, okay, as the suffix. There you go. Put it here. So it's center, middle. All right, so that's now our tag. So let's save this one. This is our railing tag. Let's save it. And then after that, let's load it to our project. Okay, so let's load that to our project. And there you go. See? So it's now automated. So you don't need to type your text manually. Okay? All right. So basically, this is how you create your egress path. But before that, since this is a railing, if you go to the other 3D, like for example, in 3D view, you'll be able to see that railing there. You see? The railing. We do not want to see this. So what you can do, since we only want to see our egress path on our egress floor plan, so I think it would be better to create a filter for that. Okay, so like for example, in your level 1 here, as you can see, you are able to see it as well. So what we can do is, let's go to the visibility graphic overrides and filter. Let's create a filter here. Okay, let's create a filter. Okay, so aside from typing VV, you can also go to manage, and then you can select filter. Oops, I think it's modif view. Yeah, okay, so you go to view tab, and then there's the filters. All right, so let's create a filter here. So let's call this egress path. Okay, all right, and then this will gonna be railing, right? The category here, it should be railing. And then for the rule here, railing, add rule. Oops, no. So it should be length, or let's say, mhm, just name, type name, okay? So railing type name that contains egress, okay? Egress. All right, so we can control the visibility of the railing whose name starts with egress. So we can turn on the visibility, or you can turn off the visibility. So just make sure you have the exact type name here. So let's double check first. So I'm just going to select here OK. So the railing starts, or begin with, sorry, should be begins with. Okay, begins with egress. So I select here OK. All right, and then let's check out the railing here. So our railing here, the name is Egress Path. So it's big letters. So let's modify our filter. So I select your filters. Okay, let's select this one. So let's change this to capital letter. So we are creating a filter so that we can control the visibility of our um, egress. So I'm just going to select their egress, or just going to type their capital egress. There you go. so that if we go to the level 1, so you can add the filter here. Okay, or you can also add that to your view template. Okay, but in my case, I'll just simply use the filter egress path. So I'm not gonna use the view template. VB filter. Let's add the egress path, and then let's just turn off the visibility, and then select OK. There you go. So it's not invisible. So same with in your 3D view. Okay, so same in your 3D view. So you go to the 3D view, you go to visibility graphic overrides, filter, you add the egress path, select OK, and then just uncheck the visibility, and there you go. Okay, so you can also use that filter to your view template. Okay, you can add that, or you can create a view template wherein you can control there the egress path as well. Okay, using the filter. Okay, so there you go. So it's a pretty simple one, although it's a lengthy process, but believe me, it will pays off. Okay, so there you go. So if I select the railing again, let's check out again, railing. Okay, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Click, check the finish. Wow, beautiful. All right, so thanks to Mr. Paul Aubin, I learned this one from you. So thank to you and kudos. So let's put a tag. There you go. It's not that difficult. All right. So hopefully you learned something from this video, guys. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestion, you can put it on the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day.